What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and we're at it again with another video. I wanted to start this video and podcast with this. If you could stream a console quality game thousands of miles away to a household and receive user input while eliminating lag, that experience serves as a baseline test for a technological revolution. Now this sounds insane, sci-fi in a sense, but that moment is happening right now. In today's video, we'll be talking about cloud gaming being a baseline test for a technological revolution. If you're watching this video, that means you have an interest in cloud gaming, whether you're a believer or a skeptic. That means there's a lot of emotions, but I'm here to tell you long-term, cloud gaming is not the end goal, but instead a tool for technological acceleration. Now, cloud gaming isn't a new concept. Cloud services have been out for years. However, the opportunity cloud gaming provides is a test unlike any other. This test aims to push the limits of cloud computing while creating more rapid innovations. All of this is further accelerated by iconic fighters finally entering the ring. These include Amazon with Luna, Google with Stadia, and Microsoft with Game Pass. Now these icons are smart. They're not going to limit themselves to cloud gaming because gaming isn't lucrative long term. Now as we venture into the story, there's one important thing to remember. There are a lot of other avenues that this story can take. So that being said, the goal of this content is to help us understand and question how technology is changing the way we live. I also hope that if you're a skeptic, you'll consider the benefits of cloud gaming and the technological innovations it can create. As always, I only feature products or services I buy or would like to buy. This gives the channel more credibility and appeal because we feature items that interest me and change the way we live. Don't have time to watch the whole video? We're now a podcast you can find on multiple platforms by searching for Pixels Cracked. You can also support the podcast by making a small monthly donation. And if you are listening to this on a podcast, you can find the YouTube channel by searching for Pixels Cracked as well. All things said, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about what cloud gaming is first. Cloud gaming is similar in concept to music or video streaming, with the exception that it requires more data be streamed. Similarities include no downloads, shorter load times, and saved data across a hardware library. However, this brings us to arguably the largest benefit of cloud gaming, and that is it requires no next-gen console. Now, this is similar to how music streaming eliminated the need for a dedicated music player and video streaming eliminated the need for a dedicated TV. Now, there's a benefit to a system like this, and that is it's eco-friendly because it reduces electronic waste by encouraging users to use devices they already own. So the next question is, what makes cloud gaming a favorable testing portal for technological innovation? Well, for one, gaming is an interactive experience that appeals to participants globally, creating arguably the best sampling there is. Next, cloud gaming requires heavy processing on the service provider's end, which is a required test. After this, huge amounts of data have to be sent over extremely long distances successfully, another required test. Finally, the content must be playable, data sent back, user experience void of any lag, and this is the final test that must be passed. So as you can tell, there's a lot going on here. So the question is, what's next? Now, because a majority of cloud gaming's processing is done on the service provider's end, that means that our devices will have to do less work. This leads us to our first technological innovation. Now this means a few things. This means smaller, thinner devices, reuse of devices we currently own, and improvements in wireless infrastructure. Ideally, devices should see optimization in hardware and reduce costs because they should be able to do as much and more on smaller batteries, more affordable processors, and reduced internal storage. It's quite possible that we'll have featherweight devices that last weeks in between charges while playing the most intense content that requires no downloads, while performance issues will be virtually non-existent. Along with this, we should see an optimization in wireless infrastructure since we'll be sending and receiving more data while aiming to minimize lag. This means that services can be provided in areas that we commonly refer to as dead spots. Now here's one that maybe you didn't see coming, and that's because it sounds very sci-fi. Improvements in wireless infrastructure can reduce dead spots and latency when it comes to space travel. Now we have the next technological revolution because of all of this. This means that we'll be connecting more people to infrastructure than ever before, which makes those people relevant and gives them a chance at being truly successful. So the question is, how does all of this benefit big corporations? And the answer is actually pretty simple. It gives them more data. Now, obviously, this would be the biggest allure for those corporations. Now, all of this makes sense because it comes together smoothly. Corporations want to produce better hardware and software that's more affordable. And because hardware and software are optimized better and are in more hands, it gets back to corporations faster. And in theory, this will allow corporations to generate more revenue than ever seen before. So final thoughts. There are a lot of other avenues this story can take. The goal is to help us understand and question how technology is changing the way we live. Again, if you could stream a complex console game to a household thousands of miles away while receiving user input and eliminating lag, this serves as a baseline test for a technological revolution. That being said, game streaming isn't the end goal, but instead a tool for technological acceleration. All of this is just a test, and game streaming is just the appealing way to do it. This is why you're literally given free hardware and service for testing these services. So that is it for today's video and podcast. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please leave a like. If you're watching this on YouTube and have any questions or comments, as always, drop those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, again, this was just one of those freestyle videos that I want to make specifically for a podcast. So I would love to hear other people's opinions on the whole content featured in this video. Let's have a nice, friendly conversation of where we think all this is going. And also, if you were a skeptic of game streaming, does this change your mind? Now, there are 3 ways you can support the channel and podcast. The first way is to click on the Amazon storefront link found in the description below. There you'll find items that I have bought or would like to buy, and anything that you do buy from the storefront does support the content. And the last way you can support us is just by clicking the subscribe or follow button. Now, liking and subscribing are important. Those are ways to vote on whether you like the video or the podcast. Liking and subscribing are also important for new viewers and listeners. If new viewers and listeners see likes and subscribers, they're going to think that the content is helpful, worth watching, and listening to. So that is pretty much it. And until next time, Leon checking out.
You